Hey, okay, so now that I have released the critique for Nosferatu and it's the 100th anniversary for Nosferatu, I want to talk about the video game Nosferatu. Um, so October 7th, 1994, Japan released the video game Nosferatu, which in the game he's also called Count Dracula, which is not a lie because, of course, we all know that Count Orlok is Dracula. So, and Bram Stoker's widow, she filed that lawsuit. So now, October of 1995, so a year later, the game was released in North America. Now, one thing about the box art that I want to talk about really quick. I miss when box art looked like this. I really do. Oh my gosh. Just, oh man. But now, knowing that in the Japanese version, he was called Count Dracula, it doesn't bother me so much that Nosferatu on the cover just looks like Dracula. And because, at first when I was looking at it and before I started researching the game to do this video, I was like, well, he doesn't look like Nosferatu at all, like the Count Orlok that we know. And so I was a little disappointed in that. I mean, the box art is beautiful. I still like it, but at the same time, I was like, but why not? Why not? If it's titled Nosferatu, why? Okay. But now that I know that they called him Count Dracula, and technically, knowing I'm not disappointed anymore because we all know that Count Orlok is in fact Count Dracula. So they're not wrong. However, the well, I guess not. I was going to say that it is a little misleading, but now that I look at it, no, it's not. Knowing the plot of it, of the game, because I was looking at it and I was like, well, this isn't the game at all. This isn't the storyline at all. But actually, it is. So let's get into that. And again, I'm sorry you have to hear me drink. I'm sure that's very unattractive. So it's set in modern times, and I know that there are gamers that when they talk about this game, that it's back and forth. It's split down the middle. Let's say that because some are fine with the modern, because it's been a while since I've seen Salem's Lot, and it seems like Salem's Lot is because Salem's Lot is heavily influenced by Nosferatu, and it's the same kind of concept. I mean, it's uh, Nosferatu in modern times. So, but there are other people who are like, well, if you're going to have these people running around in Nosferatu's castle, you should have it just like Nosferatu. And the they can make the game however they want. Make your own game. That's how I see it. So it follows a teenage young man named Kyle, and he has to save his girlfriend Erin, from Nosferatu, or as in the Japanese version, they call him Count Dracula, because Nosferatu wants to obtain their blood, not just hers, his as well. And now in the opening cutscene, Kyle goes to the castle and is and he goes to rescue Aaron, and then ends up captured. And you start off the game in the dungeon, and of course you have to then escape and go through and all that. And so like I was saying with the box art, it really isn't misleading like I thought. I don't know. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe it's because she's not wearing modern clothes that kind of threw me off. I mean, yeah, he kidnapped her, and so, and has her, and so now the game itself, the way that it's played is a lot like Prince of Persia. And like the classic Prince of Persia, because it's saying here the player fights with his bare fists. It seems like in the newer versions you fight with your fists. And of course you fight various monsters like Frankenstein's monster, and zombies and gargoyles and all of that stuff. And you have bosses like werewolves, and of course the final boss being Nosferatu himself. And now there are crystals that, and there's a red crystal that is a power-up. The green crystal recovers health, and the blue crystal extends the player's health bar. And there's also an hourglass, which I couldn't really find. It just says like, yeah, there's an hourglass, and everywhere I looked, it's like, yeah, there's an hourglass. So I'm guessing it's timed a lot like Prince of Persia. And see, this is one game that I never played, so I don't know if it's timed or not. If you've played the game, go ahead and tell me. And because I have no problem with you correcting me on, especially with games that I have not played. Now, here's the problem. The graphics were great. I mean, you look at them and they're stunning. they're amazing graphics and everything. And all the reviews that this game got, yeah, the graphics and the story is okay. And there were a few people who reviewed it and they thought the storyline was kind of bland for a horror, because especially when you have like Castlevania, and you should give it a little more kick. But here's the problem, is the controls were really difficult. It was like you'd be trying to fight. It was just, this is another one of those games that the controls were an issue. And that was the biggest gripe about this game, which is too bad, because you have this game that has an all right story, really. I mean, Yeah, two teenagers run around the woods and then one, and all that. The typical, you know. But in the early 90s, that's what was going on. So of course they were going to use it. And the graphics, amazing. And all of that. So, but it's those damn controls. Just eh, so, it just it suffered because of that. And in fact, it says here, GamePro judged the game to be a frustratingly difficult but still worthwhile game. The game is frustrating due to the sometimes slow character movement and lack of any password or save platform function. Yeah, that was another thing. Um, quite a few of those games back then had that. It was like they totally forgot to put any kind of save, anything. It's like, yeah, we would like to save our game. That would be nice. It's like, yeah, your game is great, but we don't want to play it for hours. We'd like a break. We don't want our eyes bleeding. And so yeah, there were just so many. Yeah, I forgot about the save function. And in fact, I even have it, like the first Friday the 13th, another horror game that it, the controls were awful. It was just so bad. It was just terrible. And I don't think there was anything good anybody said about it. Even the graphics were terrible. And but anyway, uh as a whole, yeah, if any of you actually played this game, uh let us know. I'll try to find a gameplay and put it in the description box and everything. But I would like to know what it was, what, because yeah, this is one that I didn't play. I didn't know anybody who ever played it. And but if you played it, let us know. What was it like? But yeah, mainly it was difficult. The save, there was no save, but the graphics, absolutely stunning. And the plot line, like I said, the whole teenager type of thing, that was popular during the late 80s and early 90s. By about 96, it started to fade a little bit, even though movies like Clueless and 10 Things I Hate About You were very popular. In the gaming and young adults, the only way that it was really popular was like, I don't know, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and those types of, yeah. If it was a TV series or something, that's how people were interested in it. If it was Sweet Valley High or something like that, nobody cared anymore. But so, and gosh, I really miss this kind of box art. So, but anyway, yeah, that's Nosferatu, the video game.